Some of you K-pop YouTubers are out here copying my ideas while plagiarizing complete Wikipedia articles and getting more clout from it. Teach me your ways. Hi, welcome. So I made a part 1 to this video, which you should feel free to check after you're done with this one though. Don't f with my watch time. Actually, I'm gonna stop you right there to remind you to subscribe to this channel and click that bell to be notified. I'm thinking of naming my notification squad just Gang Cockatoo Squad, because why not? Why not? But before we get into my new points, I did want to reiterate my point about the resting bitch face, which caused much a controversy because I used Jimin as an example as a male idol who typically has a resting bitch face and is seen as mysterious and cool, and I compared it to Jennie's resting bitch face, and she is often seen as a bitch and cold. My point in using those idols as an example wasn't to say that Jimin has never faced any backlash for his resting bitch face, but rather to put an emphasis on the fact that female idols face a lot more backlash and a lot more consistent backlash for doing the exact same thing that a male idol would do. That's a double standard. So it doesn't mean that backlash does not exist at all for male idols. It just means that the backlash might not be as consistent, or we just might not keep the same energy for both of them. And this is very perfectly showcased in my community tab where I showed this picture of the thumbnail for part 1. People are continuously defending Jimin despite the fact that I didn't say anything mean about him. And yet in contrast, people are relentlessly trying to convince me with their whole chest that people don't hate Jennie because of her resting bitch face, but rather because she's actually just a bitch. You're proving my own point without even trying, without even realizing. I think that's part of a bigger issue. And actually, someone in the comment section explained it so perfectly, so I'm going to read that comment. We're conditioned not to view a male's stoic expression as something negative, but since the standard for females is always to look pleasant and inviting, anything other than a smile can be perceived as rude. We're all victims of this conditioning. It is not an insult to Jimin to use him as an example since he's wearing the exact blank expression as Jennie, yet you read it differently, therefore demonstrating the point. And it's a reality that a lot of us face every day, and it is a double standard, hence why I presented it in the video. And no, I didn't copy a Wikipedia article to make my point. Some of you K-pop YouTubers are out here copying my ideas while plagiarizing complete Wikipedia articles and getting more clout from it. Teach me your ways. But this isn't something that I pulled out of my ass. There are actually studies that show people will generally dislike a boss behavior from a female while not really seeing an issue with it if that same exact behavior is exhibited by a male boss. A lot of you guys in the comments, especially from part 1, are proving that point. You are bashing Jennie. Why? When has she been rude? Give me points in time when she has actually been rude. To which I will refer to my video, Why People Still Hate Jennie, which you should check out after this one because my watch time is down. Anyways, I digress. That was a long-ass intro. Now that that's out of the way, we need to talk about fat shaming, which is a huge double standard in K-pop. Yes, male idols do face backlash for weight gain, but male idols also get away with a lot more than female idols can. And much like the previous point I cleared up, this is very much on the same wavelength. It's not that male idols aren't criticized, they are, but they're criticized much differently and they get away with a lot more. Anytime a female idol gains weight, we see news articles about it. Anytime a female idol loses weight, we see news articles about it. We see very toxic videos emerge that essentially sensationalize weight fluctuation. And unfortunately, we often see that it's female idols who are targeted in these videos, while as a society in general, we tend to turn a blind eye when this happens to male idols. And I have another video about body shaming in K-pop that you should check out after this one. This is honestly a topic that needs to be handled with so much sensitivity, but I've seen far too many videos about the subject that are frankly so insensitive, so triggering, and just toxic. It's not okay to sensationalize weight fluctuation. It is not okay to put someone's body on a pedestal and say, look, this person's body makes me feel personally uncomfortable, so let's express our concern publicly in the hopes that this person will learn something about themselves that they didn't know already. And I understand people's needs to pretend like they care about health, but if you actually did, you'd know that weight stigma is a lot more dangerous. And according to NEDA, weight stigma is a discrimination or stereotyping based on a person's weight, and it is actually very dangerous. So with our masked quote-unquote concerns, we're actually just contributing to a society that is so fixated on weight, which just contributes even more to EDs and doesn't actually help the quote-unquote issue that was originally presented. And I'm sure we've all seen these videos pop up on our timeline, and they get a lot of views because people, for whatever reason, like to watch them. I personally have to click the 3 dots and say do not recommend videos like this to me because of my past with eating disorders. I find it very triggering. And you know, these very same YouTubers will go ahead and make a video about someone's weight gain, and then in that same breath make a video about body shaming, and then in that same breath say that YouTubers like me need to go on a diet because they obviously know my life. First of all, I could probably bench press you, so how about you learn some fucking manners? I will never stop saying this. You cannot determine someone's health by looking at them. And even if you could, since when was being healthy a prerequisite to treat someone with respect? And through these personal experiences I've had with certain YouTubers, I kind of get the gist that these people actually don't care about these idols. If you're genuinely worried about someone, this is not the way to go about it. And I'm not saying that if you see an idol become very, very thin, that you're not allowed to have certain feelings about it, that you're not allowed to feel concerned. I'm absolutely not saying that. But there are certain actions that we do sometimes that actually worsen people's mental states when it comes to things like EDs. And putting such an emphasis on someone's body weight definitely contributes to that. So if you know someone who you suspect might be suffering from an ED, I will leave some resources in the description box. Actually, another double standard that we can bring up within this topic is the fact that we tend to brush it off when male idols explicitly express dangerous acts that they do in order to maintain a certain body type, i.e. abs. I expressed concern for a member of Pentagon when he said he was thirsty and hadn't drank any water in a really long time in order to look good in his outfit that showed off his abs. And after I said that, I got DMs from people, I got messages from people saying that he was fine and that I shouldn't worry because he knows his limits. But I mean, yeah, obviously the human body has limits. You can't go too long without food or water because you kind of need those things to survive, and you shouldn't deny yourself those things for fashion, for aesthetic. However, it's important to note that this behavior absolutely warrants concern, and it's not based on how he looks. We're not judging his body and automatically seeing, oh, I can tell he hasn't drank for 3 days, but he's explicitly told us this. You need water to survive. You need food to survive. But I definitely feel that because EDs tend to be stereotypically associated with white females, that when it happens to any other group of people, it tends to just not be taken as seriously, and thusly the treatments aren't really catered to anyone else, which is actually very problematic within the field of psychology. So the next topic we are going to talk about is the freedom to create music. I've really noticed this trend that when a boy group, or not even the entire boy group, you just need one male in the boy group to have creative freedom to write some music for people to suddenly respect the entire boy group. But if a girl group doesn't participate in the production of their music, they are less than. They're not respected as much. And this is something that I've noticed a lot with Blackpink. Guys, don't forget that I read every single one of my comments. Except for you fatphobic bitches, you guys go into the spam folder. And that folder is getting really big and it's concerning me. But I digress. I see so many people shit on Blackpink because they don't write their own songs, so therefore they must not be talented. When in reality, YG is just probably really shit at crediting their female artists. I'm just saying. CL didn't really have many writing credits when she was under YG Entertainment, but that didn't mean that she wasn't talented. And we have perfect proof of this because when she left YG, we got to see her shine through her lyrics. And this is something that she herself knew she would not be able to do under YG. As you know, she released a bunch of songs, and beside the title of each of those songs, she had a date. And those dates were very much in line with when she was under YG Entertainment. So why do you think she didn't release those songs while she was under YG Entertainment? But I truly think it's just a lack in a belief in their abilities. I have no doubt that Blackpink could 100% participate in the production of their music. And there's even a lot of rumors that they have in the past. But again, under YG, it's just a little sketchy. You know, I don't really believe everything YG puts out there. And this is very much an issue within the K-pop industry as a whole, because when we see female idols who actually do contribute to production, suddenly they're being accused of trying to steal the spotlight from the other members. And a perfect example of this is Soyeon from G-Idol. And we all know that she participates a lot in the production and writing of their music, but yet she is still treated quite differently. G-Idol is suddenly known as Soyeon and Friends, and I've been guilty of saying this as well. Yet, I've rarely ever seen a boy group have the same nickname for such a reason. It's just so interesting to me how we constantly put down female idols for not being part of the production of their music. And then when they do, we are still mad about it. And even if a boy group doesn't write their own songs, you never hear that, like, they're so untalented, they don't participate in the production of their music. It only is an argument when you use it against the women, and I fucking hate it. So the last point we're going to talk about is dance copying. Now, my friends, this one really bothers me because I have a very popular dance series called K-pop Dance Similarities. I'm not going to say it. Just do what you want with your time after this video. Just know I have a lot of content out there. Work really hard for it, and I would love validation. Anytime I feature girl groups in these videos, everyone is so quick to say that they're copycats. For example, Everglow. Everyone is saying and accusing that Everglow are copycats because they have similar dance moves to other girl groups. However, literally in that same breath, if we see a boy group copy another boy group's dance moves, then suddenly people will literally go as far as saying, oh my god, it's so cool to see my two alts doing the same dance move, OMG. Down to the very hip thrust. You know, the hip thrusts are very abundant, but no one says anything about them because you guys are thirsty as I'm not even going to tell you that my aggression was for comedic value to avoid getting slammed on Twitter because frankly, if you made it this far, you definitely helped my watch time. So thank you. So that's basically all I have to say. Thank you so much for getting to this point. And if you have suggestions for potentially a part 3, then definitely leave it in the comments below. Also, everyone was kind of freaking out about this light stick. So this isn't 22's official account. Davis is 13, created this light stick for us, and holy crap, it is so beautiful. If I could manufacture this light stick, I would, but like, how do you do that with no money? Can you just imagine Toucan's pink ocean? Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell to be notified, and I will see you next time. Bye. I'm still not unblocking Markley from Twitter.